Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Ashley. You know the drill. I come here, I talk about the things that are on my heart. And what's on my heart this week? I don't really know what I'm gonna title this video quite yet. Something pertaining to conflict or communicating in love. I haven't really figured it out yet. Partially because I think that there's so much to unpack with conflict resolution in interpersonal relationships. And there's so much that we don't know because there's so much that they don't teach us about processing our own emotions, let alone being able to communicate those emotions to other people. So it's definitely not knocking anybody for not being experts at how to resolve conflict in their lives, because we're just kind of learning as we go. But there are some tools. My biggest tool thus far has been just focusing on communicating in love. No matter what, communicating in love. And that involves some things. One, actually communicating. Not being passive aggressive, not thinking that, I'm giving off this signal, I'm acting this way, or I'm being withdrawn so they should know something is wrong, or I didn't respond a certain way to this so they should know that I didn't like that, whatever. Implications? No. Mind reading? No. All that shit is out. Communicating means communicating. Okay, so unless you have actually said what is bothering you or what you were hurt by, you didn't communicate it, and you cannot be upset. No matter who's in the right, who's in the wrong, whatever. You can't be upset with another party if you have not actually communicated your feelings, because how do they know what's going on with you if you don't say it? So communicating in love, step one is communicating, and you might fuck it up. Okay? Because there's a lot to unpack in communicating too, and I'm not gonna unload all of that right now because it would be a fucking 3-hour long video about how to communicate. It's my major, and there are courses upon courses upon courses on how to get this shit down, And even then, still figuring this shit out. So we're just gonna leave it at communicating, actually verbalizing, even if you fuck it up, even if you butcher it, at least getting it out there. Now, what helps with just the communicating part is the doing it in love. And this can be particularly hard when you are upset, when you're sad, or when you're angry, particularly when you're angry, because a whole lot of shit comes out wrong when you're mad. I know that firsthand. But focusing on the love part just sort of keeps you grounded in yourself and keeps you solution oriented, because no matter what I'm upset about, the assumption is that if I care enough to communicate it, and that if I'm upset enough with somebody that I love, the assumption is that I do want to find a solution and that I do want us to be able to work through it together. Now, if that's not where you're standing, then this is not for you. Clearly, communicating in love is not that big of a deal, but then maybe there's not that much love there if you can't find a way to do that. So, anyways, but yeah, remembering the in love part, I've recently had multiple people commend me on being able to do that in really hard situations, in really difficult conversations with people who might be being more aggressive or abrasive than I am, or, I could feel like, I just want to rip your throat out right now, but I'm not going to verbalize that. I still want to work with you on it. And recognizing that everybody's feelings are valid, regardless of whether or not I agree with them. You can't tell somebody that their feelings are wrong. However, their feeling is totally right and totally valid. Now, where those feelings are coming from, that's what we can unpack, and that's what we can work on together. But you feeling that way, I cannot say is wrong. And so acknowledging that, remembering, hey, I love this person, and I want that to be communicated more than anything. Even if I am done, even if I am walking away from a situation because I feel like I've done all that I can, because that sometimes we get to that point too, and that's totally fine. But even when you're getting to that point, remembering, but I love this person, and with love comes respect, and all of those other things that should warrant a certain level of civility and some kindness when communicating, even in conflict. And having people notice that about me has meant so much to me, because I used to be a completely different person. I used to very much be the person who bottled everything up and then would explode at some point, send some manifesto. These are all the ways that you got me fucked up. These are all the reasons that I'm done with your ass, and be out without. And then the person on the other end is like, whoa, Where did this even come from? I thought we was cool. Wow, you just really think I'm not shit. It's just like this whole thing. And it's like, whoa, you know what would have made this so much better is if you had communicated along the way, one, and remember the love. Because if you say you love me and you say you care about me, then I'm pretty sure you could have done this with more tact than just to go off and then dip out. That's not the way that we treat people that we love. I used to be a lot more combative and argumentative with people, and I just don't have time. And I sort of went through these phases where first I was really argumentative and I was like, I love to argue, which is so fucking ugly. Who fucking says that? Anyways, so yeah, so I was very much, I'm gonna tell you about yourself, but don't tell me shit about myself. Ugly. Then I moved on to a new phase of false enlightenment where, I don't know why I put air quotes around that, it totally was false enlightenment. Because I fooled myself into thinking that I was being really mature when I wasn't. Like, just because you use certain language in communicating with people, or just because you feel like they're like keywords that let you put your blinders on, like, oh, I'm just preserving my energy, or, you know, it's not even worth it. I'm just trying to do what's best for me and my health. Just there are certain things that you say or that you tell yourself to validate you cutting someone off or being really dry or really harsh and cold with somebody that you say you love, because you are upset, because you feel wronged, or because they feel whatever, because there is conflict. And you sort of forget the whole love piece because you're just being a narcissist. I was just being a narcissist and only thinking about my side and forgetting the love entirely, and forgetting the part that it's like, you know what, if we're communicating, it's because I do want it to be solution based. So I'm not communicating. Talking at someone and talking to someone are two very different things. And I used to love to talk at. And it's taken me a really long time to get to being able to talking to. But in the past few years, I have really risen above and beyond all that shit. So that's awesome, and I'm very proud of myself, and I want to help other people get there too. I don't think we intentionally communicate with one another poorly. I don't think we intentionally hurt people that we say that we love, and ultimately just end up hurting ourselves. I think we're just not given the right tools. And so a tool that I hope that people are able to use from watching this or from just personal experience is to communicate in love. And to not forget that, because, you know, you can say you love somebody all day, but actions speak a lot louder than words. And sometimes, or a lot of times, the actions and the words go hand in hand. So it's not just what you say, it's how you're saying it. The medium means a lot, you know, if you're communicating in love, I think there are definitely artful ways to communicate in love via text. I've learned a lot, but there are many more ways to not communicate in love via text. So if you really are putting in that effort, especially if it is a bigger issue, then consider the medium. Consider maybe text makes it a lot easier for things to get lost in translation and to miss tone and all of these other things. So important conversations probably shouldn't happen through text in the first place. Reach for the phone. Do a FaceTime. Do a FaceTime. Whose auntie do I sound like? Do a FaceTime. No, but like get on FaceTime so you can see expressions. You know, you can actually interact. If you can't have face-to-face, FaceTime is a really close second. Or just on the phone. You get so much more with tone, with real-time conversation, with not having time to sit there and overthink where they place their comma. You feel me? Like, there are so many ways. And I think that's why, you know, I don't necessarily know how to title this video yet, but I do want it to be a continuous conversation about communicating, specifically communicating through conflict, but just starting in communicating in love. Because if we say that we love people, even if we decide the relationship is no longer suiting us, it's no longer healthy for either party or whatever, even if you do have to walk away, there are a million ways to communicate that in love. And there are plenty more to not. But just do your best to try to remember love, because what I have found is that if I am always focusing on the love, if I remove my ego, if I remove my pride, because realistically, in true love, in true selfless love, there's no place for your pride. Ego does not exist. It's just love. So try to remove your pride, try to remove your ego, try to remove all of the hurt feelings and just focus on the love. It's not going to magically make it better. You're still going to need to communicate. You're still going to need to work through things and sit with that person or take some time. It's okay to be like, you know what? Shit, I can't communicate love right now. So I need to take a step back. Now, taking a step back and sending some, like taking a step back and telling somebody about themselves and then being out, but then saying, you know, you might come back or whatever is weird and whack. Don't do that shit. But it's okay. You can either communicate that you don't know how to communicate love and you need to take a step back, or just fucking keep your mouth shut. Don't say, go back to, you know, what your grandmama said. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say shit at all. Keep your mouth shut until you do know how to communicate. However long that takes. And if it's taking a little too long and you do need to communicate, you know what? I have some things that I want to say to you. I am hurt by a lot of things, but I love you no matter what. I don't really know where we stand, but I want to figure it out, but I need to take some time to figure out how to communicate my feelings. Boom! Oh my God, there's so much love in that. There's so much respect in that. And I feel like love and respect go hand in hand, and both of those things can easily be forgotten when communicating from a place of hurt or from a place of anger. But if you remember the love, then usually you remember the respect too, and that helps a lot. So step 1, do your best to communicate in love, no matter what. Yeah, that's all I got. So hopefully that resonated with some of you guys. I hope it sat well. I definitely will be talking more about conflict. I definitely will be talking more about communication. If you have any content suggestions, any people you want to see me talk to, besides just my dad, I get it. I appreciate the recurring comments about my dad. He will be back eventually. He also has his own life and things to do. And this channel is not just me and my dad. He will be making a channel, I'm sure. He has his own social media. You can go look on my social media and go follow his. Go crazy. But let's get some new comments, some new content ideas. But if you made it this far, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one next Thursday. Hopefully, you feel me? Yeah? Okay. Thanks. Bye.